What is up, everybody, and thank you for clicking on today's episode, brought to you by Backyard Zombie. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about my thoughts on Evil Dead Rise. And I know this podcast style of video is a little different from my normal content, but I just have a lot to talk about, and I took notes, and I've decided that instead of trying to memorize my scripts, I'm just going to read them out loud to you guys. So for those of you who think I'm going to give my overall rating of the film, at the end, I'll save you the time. I'm giving Evil Dead Rise a solid 7 out of 10. Where does it fall in my overall ranking of the film franchise? Well, my ranking is number 1, Evil Dead 2. Number 2, Army of Darkness. Number 3, Evil Dead 2013. Number 4, Evil Dead Rise. And number 5, The Evil Dead. You like what you like. My ranking is by my overall watchability and changes as I consume the physical media. That being said, the musical will always be my first love, and I watch more episodes of Ash vs. than I do the films. Plus, the new video game is really solid, and I do love the expanded universe of the original game, so it's really hard for me to put my love of the franchise in order. But yeah, it's Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead Rise, and The Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise is really low because of how new it is, but it's an amazing film that I can't wait to watch over and over. And please let there be awesome special features on that Blu-ray and 4K release. Evil Dead 2 is my number 1 because it sums up the entire franchise in one film, in my opinion. Whenever someone says, hey, I want to get into Evil Dead, what movie should I watch first? I always say Evil Dead 2, and I stand by it. The Evil Dead is at the bottom because I just don't enjoy that film as much as I enjoy the other 2 films in the original trilogy. And the remake is one of my favorite remakes of all time because it's, in my opinion, a perfect remake. It uplifts the franchise, and it honors the films that really came before it. So let's talk about Rise. In my opinion, just overall, it's a really strong reboot to the more horror aspects of the franchise, yet it really does have that clever and overall giggle-worthy moments that really give me vibes of the remake. I really love Ellie's one-liners. They're just funny, especially the most famous one, Mommy's with the Maggots Now. I think that's a great one. It is a really strong script. The actors are amazing. All the Easter eggs and nods to the franchise is awesome to see. The art department deserves all the praise. They kicked so much ass. The soundtrack, I am so excited for that vinyl soundtrack. I already pre-ordered it because I really do like it and I listen to the car. And Lee Cronin has really delivered a solid film, period. The man he had a really, really big task ahead of him. And now that the film has reached $100 million worldwide, it speaks for itself. The man delivered a solid film. So we're going to get into spoiler territory, but I'm going to mostly talk about, my nitpicks and things I liked rather than review the film. My favorite review of the film so far has been Stitched Together Pictures, which is Andy the Maniacal Cinephile. I think he really summed it up and how I feel about the movie. It's a fun gore fest, and I'm going to link that video down in the description down below. And before I go any further, I just want to say I truly enjoyed this film. I love this franchise. I have a tattoo on my leg. I made a special to promote the film that just came out, and I have a ton of videos on my channel about Evil Dead. If at any time you feel I'm being harsh or nitpicky, I am just stating my personal opinions about certain aspects of the film that I enjoyed or did not enjoy. My thoughts are my own, and I've been waiting for another Evil Dead movie since 2013. I see Evil Dead the Musical at least twice a year, professional or at community theater levels. I watch these films monthly. I am a fan. I am a big Evil Dead fan. So feel free to leave a comment or message us on Instagram. I would love to converse with another fan or other fans, but I do not tolerate hate speech or insults. You will be blocked. Your comment will be deleted, blah, blah, blah. You are listening to this, so I guess you really want to hear what I have to say. So okay, yeah, let's get groovy. The opening scene is probably one of the best things about this movie, in my opinion, and using a drone as a weapon, that is solid as hell. It is such a cool opening shot, and there's a strong use of atmosphere. The gore is just over the top. I love a good scalping, and there are a lot of cool Easter eggs in the A-frame. So once we pass that, we do meet Beth, and I fully admit, I do not like Beth, and I did not like Beth when I did research on her because of how I just saw like pieces of myself in her, pieces of myself that I just don't like. I was trying to relate to this character. Younger sibling birth order personality is a thing, but when we learn what she's going through, I'm like, damn, she's in for a really rough ride. She's not my favorite final girl, but I hope we can see her grow more, especially with Lee Cronin's pitch for the sequel, how it's like 15 minutes after the movie takes place. That's what he was saying in the interview. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's explore more of that growth. And then we meet the family. And I love how the movie says basically nothing, but tells us who these people are. Ellie is a single mother, and she's a tattoo artist, and she's trying to, like, you know, balance it. She's trying to balance her looks by giving herself, like, a new hair color, which is telling me that she's, like, you know, taking care of herself. She maybe is putting herself out there. We don't really know. They never say. But she's going through, her husband just left her. She tells us later in the film. I love Danny. They're an aspiring DJ, and I love the use of physical media and how the physical media comes into play later, especially with the vinyl records. Bridget is the activist. I love it. I love when we get to see them making their signs, and we get to see who Bridget is. And then we have Cassie, the baby, who is the artist of the family. Stephanie is queen. What a cool prop. And I really like Cassie. I think she's very adorable. How she doesn't like going into the bath and like with the bathing suit. It's an adorable scene. And I also love that, and it's a spoiler, that the last two people who live in the movie are Beth and Cassie, and they are the youngest siblings of each of their family dynamics. So yeah, think about that. I love the setting of the apartment. There's actually a building where I live that was built and reused from an old bank. So I was like, oh, that's just like the Erie Terminal building in Youngstown. So that's really cool. The secret vault, I was kind of like, what? Like, okay, if it makes the plot work, sure. I wasn't too crazy about all the crosses and stuff because what bank would allow that? But it's freaking cool visually. The altar also kind of just made no sense to me. Like, it's a vault in a bank, so why is there this giant religious altar unless they like hand brought it in? So I was wondering, like, did they carry it in there? I've only seen the film once, one and done, and I'm gonna wait till it comes out on physical media. But I really want to break that down because I'm just wondering, is it a vault or is it a secret like church basement? I was doing some research, and according to Wikipedia, and take that as you will, it just says concealed chamber. I don't know where I heard that it was a bank, but I'm pretty sure it's a bank. Please quote me if I'm incorrect that it's an old bank. But who knows? I need to rewatch the film again. I honestly would have been more accepting if it had just been a locked basement that kids get access to, and you have that like whole curiosity killed the cat cliche scenario. But from a writing perspective, I see why the chamber was what it was, and it's simple, yet it keeps you wondering. Also, before all of this, we have my favorite Easter egg that Lee spoiled on Twitter when they were filming, and that's Henrietta's Pizza. I had shirts made for my girlfriend and I to wear to the movie, and I loved wearing my Henrietta's Pizza shirt, and someone even said, like, was that from Evil Dead Rise? I'm like, yeah, it's from the movie, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then we get another Necronomicon variant. I was hyped for it when the trailer came out, but I just kind of liked it, and I kind of liked it less and less. I understand this is supposed to be one of the books from Army of Darkness, and that the other two are from the Raimi films and the remake, but I'm having just the hardest time getting behind that idea. To each their own, but that makes everything just so confusing, because, like, what about the TV show? The canon isn't solid enough to say this is that. Hell, NECA has mixed the books up in the terminology a ton with the Evil Dead 2 release, how it came with the Army of Darkness book, and then they really released the Ash figure, and it was the Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon. And then on the Evil Dead Ash that just came out for NECA like a year ago, it said Nostrum Demonto. I want them to like solidify this lore. And my favorite book will always be the Evil Dead 2 book by Tom Sullivan, and I don't like argue with people. I just think it's the superior book. Is the concept really cool? Yes, but I personally would have liked to see something new. I'm a prop guy who's made several Book of the Dead replicas, and I'm asking my like asshole to be ripped. And the cherry on top, it just, to me, it looks like the book from Harry Potter. It's the Monster Book of Monsters goth cousin, but really cool prop nonetheless. The teeth are the coolest part of the book, and I do like how the book is opened with blood. The book is read, recordings played, carnage, gore, fun, great one-liners. The movie continues on. The hallway scene is so freaking cool visually that it's my favorite part of the film's entire cinematography. Like that shot of her just going on a rampage and you're only seeing it through a peephole, like how claustrophobic that is, and how you're seeing it, and you're kind of seeing just through Cassie's perspective, and that's that Cassie scene with her just looking in the peephole, and then like you get the more extended clip from the trailer, the open up now. My other, I think, favorite part of the movie is the elevator scene, because I think it's so fun that it fills with blood, and we have gotten like small spaces filled with blood, especially in recent I think 2019's It Chapter 2, they filled the stall, so now you're filling this elevator, but it's also a callback to The Shining, and I love a good Shining callback, so I thought that scene was so fun. But now we're going to get to my biggest nitpick of the film, and that is the ending. So spoilers, obviously ahead, I've already spoiled some parts of the movie. It just must be really hard to write an ending in this franchise. I can't imagine the rewrites. The Evil Dead ends with the Force getting Ash, and the second movie ends with Ash in the medieval times. Army of Darkness original ending has him sleep into like the apocalypse, but then it's retconned with the theatrical ending when he's the hero. The remake has the final battle with the Abomination that looks slightly like Mia, which to me has always been a nod to how Ash fights himself in Evil Dead 2 as a Deadite, a literal clone in Army of Darkness, and a copy grown from his hand in the show, with this overall message of, you're fighting your inner demons. It's a happy ending in the remake, with the book making that final shot, which is left to the interpretation of the audience. And then I think there's also an alternate ending where this random dude finds Mia and she opens her eyes and there's nothing. But with Rise, I want to be completely real about how I felt about it. I'm like, Cassie and Beth had no freaking chance taking on this army of Deadites in that hallway. So when they're in the elevator, I'm like, dude, they're dead. These Deadites are really powerful in this movie. They're not funny. These are demons. These are monster people. So in my opinion, they just sidelined them by making them into it and making this multiple jointed monster. I kept saying, I'm like, oh yeah, glue a bunch of action figures together and boom, you got this creature that Lee Cronin calls the Marauder. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. But like in Evil Dead fashion, history repeats itself. It's just a bigger version of the Knights of Sumeria monster in Season 3 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, when all those knights basically die and they form together, and you get this really cool actor in a puppet suit where he's holding one half of one guy, one half of the other, but in this case it's all these bodies are coming together, and I thought it was really cool that they do tease that in the book. So they kind of in my opinion, the remake did that, where each of these pages were shown and that's what the Deadite was gonna do, or it kind of reflected what was happening in the movie. So I thought it was cool. I think that one painting of this Marauder, or the guy reaching up and it's a bunch of bodies inside of the body, I think it's visually stunning. And I saw how the behind the scenes stuff that was released to the public, and I'm really hoping we get a more behind the scenes how that was done. I think it's cool. It is cool. I just didn't like it. I just feel like there should have been more. And if you think of the season finale of Ash vs. Evil Dead, when Ash could not take on this giant demon and they give him a tank, and I'm like, oh, how convenient, a tank is there so the plot can happen. And then he shoots it and we don't really see the aftermath, and then he just wakes up and then he's in the post-apocalypse. I'm like, okay, I think I would have much rather had some kind of boom cliffhanger ending, but that's just me. I don't know. I did not hate this movie. I just okay, that's fine. The wood chipper scene, and if you did not see that coming, then the minute they showed the wood chipper in the very beginning of the film, I was like, oh, someone's getting put through that. Or because I knew the movie mostly took place in the apartment, I'm like, oh, the finale must take place in this garage, because there's I forget I think it's Fonda, and it had something to do with lawn care. I'm like, oh, that's how they're gonna get the chainsaw. It's got to be in that car. And then the wood chipper, and I'm like, okay, cool. The final thing could take place here. I'm like, what? I love foreshadowing. But Ellie's head, once the main demon has been disposed of, and her talking shit, I loved it. It's genius. I thought it was like one of my favorite like visuals of the film with the Deadites, and I'm like, this head is just, I don't know, I think talking heads are just funny, and I really love them. There are parts I really like in the ending, and there are parts I don't like, but as I said, I was just like disappointed to where I was saying, oh, that's it. Okay, cool. My girlfriend was actually quite concerned about how quiet I was after, and I thought I was just like gathering my thoughts, but I think in reality I just felt that all this hype, and I hyped it up myself, and I think the fandom and my love of it kind of just ruined and I'm saying my experience. I had so many people texting me that day. Oh my god, what did you think? Oh my god, I went to see it last night at midnight. Or did you go see it already? I bet you've seen it like a bunch of times. I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it on Friday, 12 o'clock. It's fine. I was excited. I was absolutely excited. And I've seen the film just once, and I'm not going to watch it again until it's probably released on digital. And that's when I'll actually be able to sit down and, like, I'll be able to pause it. I love pausing movies to, like, look at the background, see the Easter eggs. And I'm super excited to relax and really break it down. But it's been, probably 2 or 3 weeks since I saw the movie, and I guess those are just my overall thoughts. I have 5 pages in front of me of everything I, wanted to say, and I went off script a couple of times because I wanted to feel more natural, but with that, those are really my current opinions of Evil Dead Rise, and it is a solid movie. There's a reason why it's made $100 million in the box office. It's a great film. I am really hoping with the success of the film, we get a sequel. And I want a direct sequel to Evil Dead Rise. I don't want another story. I don't want another Tale of the Necronomicon. I want a direct sequel to this, because I want to see where... I would like a trilogy. I honestly would like a Beth trilogy. I want to see Beth grow. I want to spend time with Beth. And I want to see the ramifications of it. As Lee Cronin said, he said his sequel is only going to be his idea is 15 minutes after. I'm like, cool. Let's run with that, because I don't want to see these characters get a break, because I'd rather see them go out, and these Deadites seem just, to me, way more dangerous, and I love that. And I just want to see where that goes, and I would love to see Ellie return some way or shape or form if we can have Alyssa Sutherland back, but spoilers, she hella dead. She was hella cut up into little pieces, but we'll see. So yeah, again, if you want to talk about anything I said, or you want to debate, please message us on Instagram. I'm very good at returning my messages, but I will not, if you start insulting me or anything, I'm just gonna block you. I'm not even gonna try, but I also probably will screenshot you and call you out on our socials, because that's the petty person that I am. But anyway, yeah, so if you enjoyed Evil Dead Rise, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed anything I said in this video, again, leave a comment, message, and please go watch our Evil Dead special. We worked really hard on it. Miles did such a great job. Rosie, Ben did such a great job in it, and it was so fun to make. And everyone who had anything to do, like Brett's Groovy Chainsaws, all the people that participated in the giveaway, thank you guys so much for participating. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this, please think about subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.